We stand very firmly. Jake Paul is the next man on my hit list, and he has been on my hit list for some time. And they say a third time lucky. I definitely feel like this fight will happen this time. And I've said, straight after the fight, if this fight doesn't happen, it'll be through no fault of my own. So me and my team, Frank Warren, everyone involved with myself, is working diligently to get this fight over the line. There's calls being made right now. Everyone's being very proactive. So this fight should take place, definitely.
I think I saw where Frank Warren said, hopefully this will be finalized next week. Is that the feeling within the team?
Yeah, definitely. Like, me and my team want to get this done as soon as possible because I'm not going out of training. I had that on Sunday, the exhibition, and I'm straight back into training. There's no days off. I want this signed, sealed, and delivered. As quick as possible. So yeah, it'll be no fault on my part. I've got my team on it. Everybody's lawyers. Everyone's working endlessly around the clock, and just try and get the best deal we can and get this fight over the line.
How bad do you want this? It's the fight that the entire fight world wants to see. It's been going back and forth, it seems, for years.
Yeah, definitely. I want this fight more than anything because it's a chance for me to put everything that I've been hearing for the past 2 years to bed. And it needs to be put to bed because at the end of the day, this man is not in my class. He's not in my league. He's a YouTube fighter. That's what this man is. I am a proper fighter from a fighting family. I've got aspirations of winning world titles. I've been a professional since 2019, boxed amateur, won titles as an amateur. I'm a fully fledged boxer, and I will prove that this man is not.
Is there anything that impresses you with him as a fighter? I mean, we haven't seen him in there with a boxer yet, like you just said.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the reason why nothing impresses me of what he's done so far, because anybody can fight, anybody, make it look good. If I pull two guys out of this hotel now and told them to have a fight in the middle of that thing there, because they're both at the same level, it would look good. The people that he's been fighting are not boxers, so this will be the first test for him, and everybody will see what I've been saying this whole 2 years. Fight a boxer, and you'll see what happens to him. Just very basic, very, very basic stuff beats Jake Paul. You don't need to be, a world beater to beat him. I believe he loses to any amateur boxer. Anybody who's got an idea of the sport of boxing and what it entails will beat Jake Paul, and you'll see me run rings around him come next year.
Tommy, what are we looking at in terms of location? How big of an arena? Are we looking at the O2? Are we looking at Wembley?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like this fight is a Wembley fight. I feel like it'd do 80,000 very comfortably, because if you ask anybody walking down the street on Saturday night, if you want to go and watch Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury at Wembley, everybody's going to say yes. I believe it's a massive, massive pay-per-view event. It's a massive event in itself in the UK, because both of us are very known. Obviously, Jake's known, very well in the UK. Most of my fan base is in the UK. So I think it's a big seller over there, and my team will work endlessly to try and get the best arena / stadium we can for that fight.
When two undefeated fighters get in there, somebody's always got to go. Do you have a prediction for when this goes down? What the fight, how it?
Yeah, this fight does not go the distance. There's no chance in hell because I won't let it go to the distance. I am not going to get in the ring and look to outpoint Jake Paul. I'm going to be in that ring looking to take his head off with every single punch. But calculated, they'll always be calculated. But there's just no way, in my head, I can't see it going past 4 rounds. I can't, because the man slips up too many times, and I've watched him diligently now, and I know what he does inside and out. And I know from a fighting perspective, the only way you can get better is with fights. And at the end of the day, he's not going to improve any more from his last fight. I've seen many flaws in his last fight, and he's not going to improve any bit when he gets to the ring with me, because he'll only have had that last fight. The only way to get better in his boxing game is to get underneath them lights and have fights. He's very early on in his career. At the end of the day, I had 12 amateur fights. I know it's not a lot, but it's still 12 more fights than he had. I won titles. I've fought actual boxers my entire career. Whether they be journeyman or not, they're still proper boxers. So, like I say, everybody will see the golfing class come fight night.
Not only did you and Jake get into it after the fight, your dad did. Your dad, he went super viral. What did you think of Dad's antics in the ring?
Yeah, it was good, definitely. I mean, my dad's a hell of a character. My dad understands his business. He understands it. It's pay-per-view. It's entertainment. And that's exactly what you get with the Fury family. Tyson, my dad, me, everybody with the last name Fury, they know about this business. And we're in the business of selling fights. And this is it. It went viral, and everybody wants to see this fight 10 times more now.
Tommy, it seems like we're getting close to this fight being made. What's your message to Jake Paul, wherever he might be right now?
message to Jake Paul to show up on fight night. No excuses from my part, no excuses from your part. Let's lay it on the line. But you will not be talking about boxing ever again after I get my hands on you, and that's a promise.